Hello. I don't really know how to start this or how to talk. I just want to say, I hope everyone's doing fine. I hope everyone's doing okay. And, you know, I really do appreciate just kind of every little bit of support that I've gotten online over the past couple of years and how I've been able to build like a community with people, how I've been able to find people who I feel like I can go to about a lot of things and who I feel like I can talk to. And I'm really grateful for everything. But, as I'm starting to gear up to move to a completely new state, probably my biggest move since I moved to Washington about 15, 16 years ago now. It's just a lot of things are being put into perspective that I never really wanted to face before and I never really wanted to talk about or really tell anyone about because it's hard. And I'm trying not to cry in this video. Um, but I just wanted to open up about a few things, and I don't know, maybe somebody can relate to this. I don't know. This is just a shot in the dark. Also, I'm sorry about my tooth. I broke it a couple months ago, and I have yet to be put like an appointment set for being able to fix it. But I feel like a lot of people know I was in the foster care system my entire life. And, you know, I mean, I feel like everyone has their prejudice about how they feel about that type of system, or whether it's like you fully support it, you're like, woo, like, let's go adopt a kid. Or and I get like why it's there, and I get that it does help those who maybe can't have children or those who just want to help out. I know for me personally, I'm going to in the future adopt, hopefully. But, being in the system, it's like, it sucks. And it's definitely not, I would not recommend sending any child into that system. I would, if I could, I would go back and I would tell my mom to fix her shit. I would, if I could just be like some sort of, if I could just go back to when she was like fucking like even 15, 16, just never put children into that system because it ended up causing a lot of issues for me and a lot of things that I don't know how to deal with yet. And it's such a weird system because it's like it's there supposed to be to help. It's supposed to be like, it's supposed to give children like a good chance at life with like a good family. But I mean, I feel like it's coming out more now than ever that it doesn't. it um I mean, yeah, for some people, it's like the perfect solution for them, and I'm happy for them. I'm happy that for somebody it can be like something that they can be like, it saved them, you know. And I'm not going to discredit them for that. I'm not going to be like sit here and be like, you know, I'm moving this, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, you know, you're wrong for that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you know, like, that's just not what I'm going to do. But in my experience, it fucked me up, and it definitely, I think it's where a lot of my issues stem from because I remember being put in a home with this girl Rayvon and our foster mom Caroline, and it felt like it was like the perfect home. Like I saw Caroline as my mom, called her my mom because that's what she was to me, and Rayvon was my sister, and we were living a perfect life. It was a very loving, amazing house. It was a very it was a good situation, and I know that Caroline wasn't able to take care of us anymore because of her age. And I wish that we were able to stay with her because what ended up happening was I was moved down here to Washington, and the way they do it is so fucked up. And honestly, it's like because what they like to tell you is that there will be like a smooth transition between moving homes, that it's going to be safe and it's going to be well for children. It's not. I can promise you it is not. They never follow through with what they say because what they promised us was that it was going to be like visitation and like a slow transition, like over the course of like 5, 6 months. And, in a perfect world, that would be fine. But that's not what happened. And I just remember one day we were, playing outside and this red car shows up and it's like these two women and they're like, you have 5 minutes to pack your stuff and like go. And I was like, okay, like I just thought it was like one of Caroline's friends who was like, you know, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna do all these things, yeah, because that's what Caroline's friends did. Is they left us and they would go and do stuff like that with us. But it was like, I guess, so I deep down knew something was kind of up with this because Caroline acted a little bit more different, and so we went to my room and we started packing like clothes and stuff, and I was like, okay, like something deeper is going on. Like I'm not. I had a feeling like I'm not coming back here, am I? And I guess that might just be from the fact that I was apparent. Like I don't remember most of the homes that I lived in, but I guess I was moved around a lot. Um, and they do that, and they like deep down I knew like I'm not gonna come back, am I? And I remember just going off with these two women in this car, and I was like, I was never gonna see her again. And they told me that I was never going to, like, you're never going to see her again. You're not going to come back here. And I remember I was just crying. And I remember I just wanted to go back into my bed. I wanted to go back to what was comfortable and what was, you know, safe. What I had built as like safe. And then I was brought to like this hotel room, which is where my adoptive, it was a, they didn't never adopted me. Never did. But where my ended up my family had taken me, and it was one of my dads, because my I had two dads apparently. They thought that was a good idea. No, I'm joking, I'm joking. There's nothing against, I have nothing against that. I mean, hell, I'm gonna be having, my child's gonna have two dads. But I remember it was just overnight, and it was like, okay, well, here's your dad, we're going, bye, and they were gone. And I went to the hotel room with him, and like the worst night of my life. I just remember crying. I was not able to sleep. I felt so unfamiliar. I felt weird. And the next day I was brought down because I lived in Calgary, which if you know where that is, that's like the middle of Canada. All the way brought down to Washington, Seattle. And it was a long drive, I remember. And when I came to live with this family, it was very different from when I lived with Caroline. Because with Caroline, it was like, I love you every single day. We would go do things all the time. We would eat together. We would watch shows together. Me and Rayvon, we would always play together. We would always be outside together. Like, it was a family. And then at Caroline's place, like at the time I was like allergic to grass or something. It was something like that. I forget. But I couldn't go to preschool. And so Rayvon would go to preschool, and then Caroline would stay home with me. And, I would have like an hour to myself every day. Like, I would just watch TV. But most of the time, she would stay with me and she would like play cards with me, help me like learn chores, like eat with me, all this stuff. Or like take me out to go do something. And all that was taken away overnight. And, you know, when I came to live with my new family, I had a brother who has now completely cut contact with me, because I was going to file a lawsuit against my family. I inevitably decided, I guess, against it because I was just like, I don't know, like, I'm at a point right now where just looking at them or like facing them is just going to elicit a lot of emotions and a lot of behaviors inside of myself that I know I'm gonna have that I don't want to deal with. And like someday I do want to be able to, like take control over that situation because it was so fucked up. I never had the chance of being able to be a child when I was with them because it was like heavily abusive there, heavily abusive there, and inevitably they were trying to kill me. They had a whole plan set up. They kept telling me I was going to die by like 18. I was going to die by 18 or 19. I wasn't going to become anything. I wasn't going to be anything. That I was just this problem child that they could not handle. But something I don't think people realize about children is that behaviors don't just happen because children want to act out. That's not possible. And when I was put with them, they took my anger and screaming and crying all the time as just being dramatic, as just being overly dramatic. And they were offered to give me like counseling, as you fucking should. And they rejected it because they were like, we can handle it on our own, but they couldn't. And so I just remember always being a really, really angry child. And nobody would listen to me, and I was always alone. And that's something else that people don't talk about is how alone and how lonely it is just to feel like you have nobody there for you. Like as a foster child, I feel like if you were one, you would understand the feeling. And I think that's partly why I'm making this video because I don't know anyone who I can relate with like that. I don't know anyone who had to be put in a situation like that where you don't even have your own mom, you don't even have your own dad or family, your own house, or like just anyone to tell you like I love you. For anyone to just hold you when you're crying, for anyone to just I never had that. I never did. I always had to comfort myself. I always had to figure out my own way around things. Nobody was ever there for me in my corner. And I don't want this to be like no, woe is me, but it's definitely like, these are things I have to get out there. And it sucks because in more recent times, I'm kind of realizing how when I do move, I don't have really any family who I'll have to miss, who I'll have to check in on. I won't have like somebody to come home to on Christmas. Now I don't even have a family to spend the holidays with this year. I'm just gonna be alone in my room, probably recording something, probably producing. But it's lonely. And now losing my brother, who was the only blood who I had in my life. Like we used to play together. I remember we used to go play like Minecraft together and how we would like I don't know, we were always together when we were like kids. Now the one person who was there for me who actually made me feel somewhat wanted is gone. And it sucks. It hurts a lot, actually. I say it sucks, but no, it hurts a lot. I think it's the worst pain I think I've ever had to endure. And just knowing that the people who were supposed to be my family, I mean, it's such a fucked up thing. It's so fucked up because the reason why I got kicked out, and this is a crazy story. I was going out doing, I did DoorDash orders for a while. I would like pick up orders, drop them off at people's houses. That's how I made money for a while. I was in cosmetology school because, I was working at McDonald's, but that was an overnight gig and I just could not while I was in school, and they wouldn't let me transfer to day shift. So I was like, well, fuck you. And so I was doing DoorDash orders and my car broke down. And so I called them. I was like, hey, the car broke down. Like, I don't know what to do. And they were like, figure it out. Hung up on me. And I was like, okay, well, figure it out. And you know how I figured it out? It was like, well, I called a tow truck because I filled the gas tank, tried restarting the battery. I called my friend. My friend came through. And, we had the cables and everything. And their boyfriend helped me. So I'm grateful to them. Jason, Nelson, and Nick. I love you both forever. You guys, literally, they saved my life because they were also the ones who took me in when I ended up homeless. Their family took me in. So Mindy Nelson, Eddie Elson, ah, Eddie Nelson, Holly Gratz, Jason Nelson, and then Nick. I literally love you guys. Like, more than anything, like, I mean, these were like strangers to me. I mean, like, obviously, like, I knew them beforehand, but inherently they were strangers to me. I had only known them for like 4 or 5 years at this point, and they treated me better than my own family. I mean, they showed me just enough comfort and love that I had always wanted, that my family could never give. And it was definitely weird at first, but now I'm realizing I'm like, that's how I should have been treated my entire life. That's how I should have been treated, period. I should have never been able to let people treat me like I was just some butt of the joke, like I was just some throwaway, like I was like some weird devious ass kid. Because inherently all I just wanted was to be loved, and I just wanted to be held as a kid. Because that's what I gave to everyone else. I mean, I was always there for everyone else. I was always there, even in my darkest times. I mean, my first suicide attempt was when I was like 13. Because I had already had like, I had had enough. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't go through all of this anymore. I don't want to. And I don't know how to get out of it. And so I had, tried hanging myself, but one of my friends at the time had called the police on me, and they showed up at the house just as I was about to do it, and I was like, you know. And I was supposed to get counseling after that, but that never happened. Um, it happened about like I did go to therapy about like a year or two later, but it was for a completely different thing. It was for like ADHD. Oh, so I'm sorry. It is like 11:25 at night. Oh, who messaged me? Okay, but you know, back to my point of being just like, there's a lot of things that I've had to struggle and face and deal with on my own that I never should have had to. And it's all hitting me now. And I wish there were people there for me like I was for everyone else. Because I'm a huge lover. I give my all to people. I'm trying to check in with everyone all the time. I want the people who I love to be know that they have somebody in their life who cares about them and loves them, and I honestly don't know what I would do without any of my friends. I mean, because I love them. They were there for me through a lot of the abuse that I had to face at home, and they would get me out of situations, and they would kind of help me guide through situations. And there were nights where there was nights where I was like up crying because, I was being severely bullied when I was in school, and then I would have to come home and I was being severely bullied and abused at home. And there was no safe space for me, and there would be nights where I would be up crying, screaming on the phone with some of my friends, just like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. Hate my life. I hate everything about this. I have nothing going for me. Nobody cares about me. There's there's nothing I can do right. There's nothing I can do to make my family love me. There's nothing I can do to change what they think about me, and they just think that I was just some problem child who would like lie, manipulate, and steal, but it was like I did, but it was to survive. And that's the part a lot of people don't get. Was that, yeah, I will admit I did a lot of things wrong, and I see it now, but at the time it was all just to survive. It was supposed to just be an in the moment situation and be done with, but it made me into somebody who was very unlikable and very hard to be around. And I see that now, but I didn't then. It's such a weird thing too. Like when I was going through it, I was like, "Oh, I'm so fine. Like I'm good. Like I'm living the best life. I'm." But it's like you weren't. You were hurting. You were hurting a lot. You were carrying too much baggage that you shouldn't have had to. And there should have been somebody who was there for you. And there is somebody who should have held you while you were crying those nights. There was supposed to be those people, but they didn't do their job. And that's on them, and that wasn't on me. And I'd always be like, well, what am I doing wrong? How can I make them love me the way I want them to? How can I make them want to just be there for me? And I would kill myself over and over again just to make these people happy. I mean, hell, I worked every fucking day for a year, overnight shifts, no breaks, no days off, every fucking day. Wake up, go to work, do DoorDash orders for about 8 to 9 hours, sleep for about 3, 4 hours, get up and do it again. And I mean, I thought I was going off pretty good, but I look back at the pictures I took during that time and I realized, no, yeah, like I was so fucking unhappy. I look back at pictures of myself and I'm just like, you may have looked good. You may have felt like you were doing good, but you were gone. Something happened. And I mean, that's just the truth. That's just what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen when you go through things and when you are forced into situations that you don't want to be in, but you have to. And I remember during that entire time, and the reason I kept doing it was because I was so highly praised. It was like they were proud of me, finally. After like 14, 15 years, they were proud of me. And that's all I wanted. That's all I really asked for. But it was like I had to actively kill who I was as a person, actively kill any ambitions that I had, any desires that I had in my life to do that for them. And earlier this year, I mean, I was with a guy who clearly did not fucking like me. And honestly, I think he just hated me. I was going to school, I had a job, I had a cat, and it seemed like, on the outside you would look at me and you'd be like, "Oh, you have everything. You have the you have like, the hot guy. You have you're taking care of an animal. You're working and you're going to school, so you're going to become something." And I was going to school for cosmetology, so it was like once I graduated, I was going to be making good money. But I didn't want any of it. But I did it because it's what made my parents so proud of me that I was able to balance so many big things. But the truth is, I wasn't balancing anything. I was getting max like 3 hours of sleep a night for like 6 months. I mean, I was fucking tired. I was done. I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. And all this coming right after something really traumatizing had happened, which I don't really want to get into right now, but you'll find out someday. But I look back and I was just unhappy. I was tired of life. I was just so in pain. And I thought I deserved it all. I thought that was the price I had to pay in order to be like successful in life. Like I had something going for me, but I didn't want it. I did not want it. And eventually I broke things off with that guy. I had quit school, I quit my job, and, I lost my home. And when that all happened, that was fine, but I ended up having to lose my cat too. And I remember I had to drop him off at the shelter, and I didn't even get to say a proper goodbye. Actually, while I was filling out the paperwork, they just took him. I never saw him again. His name was Enchilada, and he was like, my best friend. He was like the best thing I ever had in my life. And I miss him every single day, and he was like the happiest, little, cutest cat. He would go with me everywhere. He would go with me when I was doing DoorDash orders. He would go with me when I was like just going to the store. We would just go on drives sometimes. And he would like sleep with me. He would sleep on my chest. Or he would sleep on my desk while I was working. He would follow me around the house. He would sit and watch TV with me. And I loved him more than anything in the world. Because he was like the embodiment of like, I can take care of something. I can get this thing a life that I never got to have. I can make this thing super content and happy in life, that he won't even have to think twice about it, that he won't even have to be like, wow, I'm so, you know, lucky to have this. Because it's not luck. It should just be standard to live a life where you don't have to worry about so many things going wrong. But in my life, that's not the case. In my life, it is luck. And turns out my luck is not that good. But you know. Now here I am at 19, releasing an album. I have a boyfriend. I love him. He, we're still very, very, very early. But he treats me right. Unlike Evan. Oh, I did not mean to name him. But, he treats me right. Unlike, the partner that I had before. I think I'm finally happy in life. I think I'm finally at a place in life where I know what I want to do. But I never had that up until now. And it's so freeing. And it's so, I don't know, like it's just, like now I feel grateful that I get to wake up every day and I'm going to school again. But this time for something I actually want to do. I'm literally going to school for recording arts. I mean, they just sent me my kit. Like, I have a mic and everything now. Like, I'm releasing a debut album soon. I'm doing video treatments with my closest friends who love me, who I've been able to call my family now. But it took a lot to get here, and it took losing quite literally everything that I had. I mean, down to the clothes on my back. I lost everything. I was homeless, suicidal, didn't even have like a second pair of clothes for the longest time. But we're making it. And that's not to say that I don't still have a lot of issues that I still need to work on, because I definitely do. But I just needed to come on here and rant. I just needed to come on here and get that off my chest, because at the end of the day, I do still feel very alone in the feelings of, I never had a family. I was pretty much a lone child. I was a wandering whatever the fuck. And it sucks. And I really hope no child ever has to go through that. I really hope that nobody else has to go through that, because it is such a fucking consuming and like killing feeling to know that I've been alone my entire life. Since day one. Since the day I was born and CPS took me. I was alone. I had nobody there for me. And when I finally thought I did, it was taken away from me. But I don't know. I just need to work more on just getting where I want to go in life. I don't know. In 5 years, I hope I have like a song that people are like, wow, like I know them, you know? Because this is like my biggest dream. This is the one thing that has stayed consistent since I was like 4 or 5. I've always been a performer. I've always been a like singing, whether I was good at it or not. It's just the only thing I've ever wanted in my entire life. It was the one thing I knew. I was like, I'm gonna be on the big. I'm gonna be on a big ass fucking stage someday. I'm gonna work for that. I've performed on some stages. I've released a few songs, but I just want. I don't know. I want to start doing more videos where I just kind of talk about what's happened in my life. And I want to be able to do what I want to do in life just for, like the little kid. Just for little me, little Jay, who was just so, since day one, just so fucking unhappy and scared and confused. Not knowing what the fuck was gonna happen next. Living in a house where I could be beat with a wooden stick, locked outside in the snow, cut. I didn't know. Having to raise my brother, made sure he got a good life. Having to sacrifice my own childhood, having to become so like parent like when I was like fucking 7. Having to yell at my parents to be like, hey, don't fucking beat on him. What's wrong with you? Don't talk to him like that. Getting in turn beat and punished for speaking out, but there was a lot of things that I did I don't think he saw that are the reason why he got to live such, maybe not an incredible life, but definitely a better life than I had. And I just hope he's happy right now. I hope, no matter what he thinks of me, that he is going to be successful in something in what he wants to do. And right now, it's automotive work. He wants to go be some sort of car technician. I'm proud of him. I'm proud that he's doing what he wants to do and not just what people are telling him to do. Don't, you know. I'm proud of him, of who he's become, who he is, how he got here. Because I'm not going to say his life was easy either. And in fact, it was hard also. But he at least had parents to come home to. He at least had family that he knew loved him. He at least had something. I had nothing. Yeah. Before I leave, I just want to say, if you're, a teenager, a child, go hug your parents. Go tell them you love them. Go cuddle up with them and watch a show. I don't care if you think you're too old for that, because right now that's all I want to do. Is I just want to be able to cuddle up with my mom, sit on a couch, watch a TV show, laugh together, be able to bond. Because it could be taken away from you at any fucking point. Because I never got that. But I knew even if I did, it was going to be taken away from me. And it was. And if you're an adult, and your parents are still around, give them a call. Tell them you love them. Ask them how they're doing. Check in on them pretty often. Go make some plans with them. Go hang out with them. Give them a hug. Give them a kiss. Remind them just how much you love them. Because not everybody gets that. At my wedding, I'm not gonna be able to have parents to walk me down the aisle. I'm not gonna have a dad to walk me down the aisle. I'm not gonna be able to see my family in the audience. My side of the room will be a few friends max. And I know that's gonna suck. I know that's gonna hurt so bad. So if you grew up and you had a good life, remind your family that you appreciate it, that you love them for it, and for not giving up on you, for not making you feel like the only way out was to kill yourself or kill yourself with work. Kill yourself with doing everything that you do not want to do. That you thank them just for supporting you and what you want to do, for just loving you for being who you are, for not wanting to hurt you, for not ever even just thinking about hurting you. And that's such a fucked up thing. I don't know how you could adopt a child and then be like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, okay. I don't know. And if you're a parent, if you have children watching this, make sure you remind them every day that you love them and you hold them and that you would do anything for them, that you would kill for them, that you don't give a shit who they are, he, she, they, them, whatever the fuck, or whatever they want to do, whether it's be a cosmetologist, go into business, maybe also a recording artist, that you will support them, that you will love them through it. Because it does not affect your life. It affects theirs. And your response affects their life. And as a parent, it is your job to make sure that your children's never, ever doubt that you care or love them. That they will always have you. Because I never got that. And look where it led me. Right now, I'm currently living with my aunt, who is such an angel. I literally love her. She is the best person on this fucking world. And I love her to death. And I remind her every day, multiple times a day. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe there will be more videos like this. I do want to go a little bit deeper into my story before my book comes out, before my album comes out. I want to be able to explain a lot of things about my past because there's so much that nobody knows. Not even my closest friends. I don't know. But thank you. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I know this is like a really weird video to post, but what am I gonna do? Cry? Who the fuck cares? Bitch, boo hoo, me. You know, like, what the fuck is that gonna do? Well, I guess that's what I've been doing this entire fucking video, but. Anyways. Thank you for watching. And hopefully I live. Alright. Bye. Don't die. Don't kill anyone. Don't hurt anyone. Yeah. Alright. Bye.